tea, a beverage enjoyed by millions worldwide every day. But did you know that this humble drink played a pivotal role in one of the most iconic moments of American history? Today, we're diving into the story of how a simple meal, a cup of tea, became the spark for a revolution. Welcome to the story of the Boston Tea Party and how this meal of protest set the stage for the American Revolution. It's December 16th, 1773. In Boston, Massachusetts, a group of colonists known as the Sons of Liberty gather on the shores of the harbor. What begins as a protest over taxes imposed by the British Crown quickly escalates into one of the most famous acts of defiance in history. These colonists, angry over the British Tea Act, board 3 ships dressed as Native Americans and dump 342 chests of tea into the Boston harbor. This event, known as the Boston Tea Party, would forever alter the course of American history. But why tea? Why was this beverage, so simple and commonplace, chosen as the focal point of colonial resistance? The answer lies in the British Tea Act of 1773. While the British Empire was in financial turmoil, facing the aftermath of costly wars, they decided to impose taxes on the colonies to recoup their expenses. One of these taxes was a tax on tea, a beverage that was highly popular in the American colonies. What made the Tea Act especially infuriating, however, was that it didn't just impose a tax. It gave the British East India Company a monopoly on tea sales in the colonies. The East India Company could now sell tea directly to the colonies, bypassing colonial merchants. For the American colonists, this was not just an unfair tax. It was a direct attack on their economic independence and rights as English subjects. The Boston Tea Party was not just a protest against the tax. It was a stand against British oppression. Colonists felt that their rights were being undermined by a distant government that imposed laws without their consent. The Tea Party was an expression of defiance, and the tea they threw into the harbor was more than just a symbol of resistance. It was a catalyst for the revolution that would follow. The British response to the Boston Tea Party was swift and brutal. In retaliation, the British government passed a series of harsh laws known as the Coercive Acts, or Intolerable Acts. These laws closed the port of Boston, revoked Massachusetts' charter, and drastically increased British control over the colonies. The result? Rather than quelling rebellion, these acts unified the colonies and pushed them closer to war. The colonists' resistance to the British Empire intensified, leading to the formation of the Continental Congress and the eventual outbreak of the American Revolutionary War. But beyond the political ramifications, the Boston Tea Party also marked the beginning of a new way of thinking in the colonies. No longer would Americans simply accept the impositions of a foreign ruler. Tea, once a symbol of refinement and colonial leisure, had become a symbol of resistance. It was a meal, the tea itself, that united people in their fight for freedom. And though the Boston Tea Party was just one of many events that contributed to the American Revolution, it remains one of the most enduring symbols of colonial defiance. A simple cup of tea, thrown into the harbor, forever changed the course of history. It ignited the spark of revolution and helped give birth to a nation built on the ideals of liberty and self-determination. So, the next time you sip a cup of tea, remember the incredible history it represents, the revolution it sparked, the courage of those who resisted, and the meal that helped shape a nation.